Hi everyone, my name is Aishatu and I am here on the Making Your Own series. There are interviews that I'm doing with self-starters, people who are making it out on their own, doing their businesses and closer to the beginning of their journey than the middle, if you like. I'm actually here today with Clare Ferguson, who is on the Freelance HER 100 program with me, which is a business accelerator program to help empower women in the Greater Manchester area who want to start businesses in the tech, creative, media kind of space. And it's going so well. We are on week 2 and it's so intense. And so I decided to do this interview series because I really want to learn about the stories of the people who are on the program and hopefully encourage and inspire other people to see that it's different. The journey is different for everyone, but everyone just wants to do better. And a lot of people want to be able to take ownership of themselves because we know that in the last year, so much has felt out of our control. I think a lot of people would like to be able to have authority and sort of like autonomy over themselves. So thank you very much for joining me today, Claire. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to kick off by just letting you introduce yourself and tell us about your business.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me. It's lovely to be here. So yeah, I'm Clare Ferguson and I run a digital advertising business. So I work with brands, so maybe e-commerce brands or people with a service that they want to promote, or maybe they're entrepreneurs and they want to grow a personal brand. And I write and coordinate strategies to advertise their product or service. And I do that on social media platforms, so it might be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. But the goal for my business is to work in partnership with customers and bring them closer to their target audience. So every business has got a product or a service, and they've got a customer that they're trying to engage with. And my job is to just bring those people closer together.
Okay, I like it. That's nice and smooth. It sounds like you practiced it.
I didn't.
Well done, well done. Right then, so I'm curious then, how did it come to be this? Like of all the different ways you could have gone from, how did it come to be that, yeah, I'm going to be in the digital marketing space?
Well, yeah, I mean, it could be quite a long story. So I've done various things in my career, so I haven't always been in this particular space. So I'll be really brief. So I have a scientific degree. I've also worked in recruitment. I'm a trained primary school teacher. So I've done lots of things in my career. And I'm also a parent. I've got 3 children, so I've taken time out of the workplace as well. So how I came to be here is actually a really good question. So I work part-time currently and I run my business. And I'm really interested in learning and developing new skills. And I'm the sort of person that, I want to always know something new. And so I got interested in social media because it came into my job where I was employed, and I needed to know a bit more about it. So my employer paid for me to do a course to become a social media manager.
Okay.
which was really useful. And I did that with a company called Digital Mums, which is also about empowering women, people who've become parents, and allowing them to retrain and skill up so that they can win in the digital world that they find themselves coming back to.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, so I did that. I did a diploma with them, and it was great. From home, met another bunch of fabulous women on there who I'm still friends with. And then I became interested in the ad side of things which is a specialism from social media, really, because it brings together the sort of data that I'm used to from my scientific background. Because advertising in the way that I do it is all driven by data. So there's a lot of monitoring of results and optimization and that sort of stuff that really kind of feeds well into
a lot of information that helps guide what ends up happening.
So for me, I kind of found my sweet spot in the social media world with ads, because I was like, I can be my data geek over here, and I can be a bit creative over there. And for me, that's quite a good blend.
Artistic geek. Well done.
Yeah, because I'm not really dry in numbers. I can't just sit there crunching numbers all day, because I like people and I like brands and I like stuff that's pretty. So yeah, so it seemed like a natural place for me to go. And then I've always wanted to run my own business. I've worked in small and medium-sized businesses for most of my career, and I love to see them growing and doing well. So for me, working with brands like this now, it allows me to work with my customers to get their brand moving and see them becoming successful as a consequence of something I've contributed to. So it works for me.
Look at that. On how would someone not want to work with you? You want to see them do well, you know your numbers, as well as knowing what's visually appealing. So I think it's a great thing that you found this program then, because it's going to help you hopefully articulate it. Like, what is it that you thought you were going to get from this program? Like when you saw the campaign for it, they were like, right, I'm going to do the application and I really want to get on this. Like, what was it that you thought you were going to get from it?
I saw it, and I think I must have probably been one of the first people to apply. I saw it, I was like, oh, this is for me. Like, someone's written this for me. And I think what I want to get out of it, there's a few things really. So when you're working on your business, you know, on your own, it's nice to be part of a community. And I am part of some other communities to do with ads, but it's nice to be part of a community, you know, of business people as well. And it's not such an ads focus. So I was looking for the support from other people who are in the same sort of situation, because I believe we can all help each other and bring energy to each other's businesses.
Oh, well, we've got that.
Yeah, we've got that. Yeah, so as soon as I saw that, I was like, right, I've got that bit. And also I wanted some support on the sort of making a leap from being one freelancer on your own to perhaps being a bigger business. And I don't have, you know, currently I'm working on getting systems in place that will allow me to do that, so I can perhaps outsource some things in the future, or work, you know, cooperate and work alongside other businesses, and we can help each other. So I need help with some of the technical IT things and some systems set up, which I thought that the people who are running this program would be perfect for.
It looks so good. It looks so good when I looked at their website and looked at the landing and sort of like in 4.0, and I was just like, this looks so good. Like, if I didn't have anything relevant, I think I would have tried to fake something that was relevant to just like get into, because it just looks good. It looks so welcoming and looks like it was so modern and fresh, and everything they were doing just seemed like, yeah, this is the way you want workplace to be. This is how you want to be able to network with people and connect with people. And it's in Manchester, because apparently all the cool stuff only needs to be down south, but this is up north.
I know, they might as well have just put like a big arrow above it and gone, this is for you, come in.
So it's so cool. Yeah,
so when I was filling in the application form, I felt like there was quite a lot riding on it, because I really wanted to get on the program, because I just thought it sounded great. So I was excited when that happened, and so far it's been brilliant. We've had a couple of the weekly sessions where we've had input from Sarah about being brave and stepping out of your comfort zone. And I think for me, there's lots of that wrapped up in this project. So it was really good. And then this week, obviously, sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, I definitely see how tailored it is. Like, it's so focused on being a business accelerator. There's no faff, like there's no lag, there's no like contingency to just be slack space. Everything is geared towards you being able to get your product or your business or your service to market, being able to experiment, being able to connect. And it's all about driving you to build that network and build a business. Like, it's just treating you like a business person, as opposed to like a student who, like, it's not teaching you to suck eggs, which I've seen on like some other programs that I've been involved in, where they sort of like say, oh, know your customer. And it's like, yes, but
I've got that bit. Yeah.
But then, and so it's one of those things, like, it's really great to just see how high the stakes are. I think like they've really raised the bar. They haven't come in sort of with baby steps at all. It's a serious investment on our part. So I'm really loving that.
Yeah, and I think as well, what I'm realizing is that they've set this brilliant program in place,
Mm.
and there will be some bits of it where we really need to take a lot from it, and there were other bits of it where, you know, we'll think, right, that's a really nice reminder, I'm good with that bit, and where I need to focus is here, you know. So it's really good at providing a focus, and, you know, you can see which bits you're doing well already and where there's room for learning and to grow and to challenge yourself and all of those things.
Yeah, like it's great to see. It's great to see. So I'm quite excited, and I look forward to, like, hopefully they get like more funding to have like more cohorts and everything. It'll be great to see how it grows and evolves. Now I'm actually curious as well as to the fact that you seem to be someone who's quite proactive, and you do the things that you want to do. And even though you said you've taken some time out of the workplace and in order to like raise your kids and whatnot, and now you're doing a part-time job and you have such a wide range of experience, what is it that you felt was holding you back, that made you feel like, oh, you know what, I should do this additional thing to really get me over? Was there something you felt like you needed to learn specifically, or that you felt like you couldn't do with the sort of like things you already had within your arsenal?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think I feel like I'd taken what I was planning to do. I feel like I'd taken it so far, and I was really happy with where I was up to. But you know, you sort of get to a point where you're like, right, I need to do something bigger now. I need to, you know, I'm here in this comfort zone, and that's fine. And you know, I'm reinforcing everything, and everything's going well. I've got some customers, and I've got this and that, but I'm really operating at, you know, a certain level. And I think I just need a bit of a kick to take that next big leap. So I've got lots of the things that I need to do it, and I need to fill in the gaps a little bit, I think. So I just needed, you know, I won't say hand holding, but I needed just to have some people there with me, and to say, I think I know what I'm going to do, but, you know, and just bounce things off people and sort of say, how does this sound, and what about that? And I just think I needed someone external to do that. And I think the group of people that we find ourselves in will be perfect for me at doing that.
I think I definitely agree, because there's such a wide range of stuff that people are doing. I think that's what surprised me the most. Even though the industries they're looking to cover was wide ranging, I thought perhaps there was going to be a type of person that was going to be on the program.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've deliberately done it, but they've got like people who are so different.
Yeah.
So different, such different experiences, but everyone's really proactive and everyone's really sort of like geared up. And I think it's so cool that you say you're here because you want to move to the next level. And it's not exactly hand holding, but you know, you recognize that you need something extra to help bring you into that next bit that you want to do now. You can see it, and you know you've got all the stuff that you need to bring to it. There's just something
yeah, I think mindset's a big deal for me. So I, outside of work and family life, I do a lot of training, like weight training and exercise. And I think, you know, for my training and my weights and all of that, I think my mindset is pretty strong and pretty focused.
Yeah.
And in the business sense, I feel it's not quite there yet.
Oh, I see.
So I'm trying to sort of to level up a bit with my mindset in terms of the business world, because we all have our little insecurities and in business when going for things. You know, I think every single person who's in business have things where they think, I'm not sure about that. You know, is this good enough? Shall I offer that? Is this the right product, service, whatever?
And I think it's really interesting that I've heard it a lot from sort of like business people, where you almost feel like you're supposed to do all these things by yourselves. Like when you see other business people, it seems as though they have the mindset, the skill set, the time, the resources. They have all these things to make it happen. And I think the background bit that I'm hoping that we all get to see through this program as well is that there are actually a lot of moving parts, and there are a lot of things that feed in to that one big CEO or the business owner or the solo entrepreneur. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, and recognizing that that's just the reality of it, and not letting that take away from the value that you bring as an individual anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I think like there's a tendency to look around and you know, social media is particularly bad for this, and think everyone's nailing it all the time,
Yeah.
and to feel a little bit inadequate about things. But the more you talk to people and the more you get involved with other people's businesses, you see that everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and it's just about pushing yours forward, you know, your strengths,
Awesome. I
and
like that.
building on those.
I like
Um,
that.
and don't worry about, you know, obviously there are things that you need to address and things you'll be less good at, but that's where you have a network and you work with other people who do have strengths in those areas, you know, where you don't. So yeah, I think it's all good.
I'm liking this. I'm really liking this. There's so much information that's just being like just learned. I'm
It's
loving
so
how it just comes.
cool.
Isn't it something that
Yeah.
suddenly a discussion is going to be public and you get really articulate? You get really articulate. You just know how to deliver your stuff. You should do this all
I'm
the
not
time.
sure I am.
I think you are. I think you're being quite clear. I think you're being quite clear as to what it is that you feel you need and you know your strengths. I think it's so great to just know your strengths and know the things that you do know,
Yeah,
and recognizing the things that you do need help with, and
yeah,
knowingly going for the things that you need help with, and
yeah,
registering that that's just okay, and that's just part of what we need to do, and not letting your mindset hold you back, because sometimes you're butting against yourself. Like no one else is saying anything to you that's discouraging. It's just you sort of like challenging yourself. So yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've read some books about people feeling successful in life. So there's a book by a guy called BJ Fogg, and obviously lots of people know about Atomic Habits, and all of that is about people making habits and creating things that allow them to feel successful. And I think we all need to feel successful. So in our everyday lives, we need to set goals and accomplish them and feel successful to kick on then to the next thing. So for me, I think it's important to celebrate the things you're good at, because that's what gives you positivity and drives you on. If you spend all the time focusing on negative things, it would be difficult to move forward. So yeah, feeling successful and
Claire.
empowering other people to do so is big for me.
Oh, that's so great. Oh, you know what? Claire's coming through with the motivational speeches. We should get you doing your own little series of just you just telling people you need to get going and move forward and get stuff done. Don't hold yourself back. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
curious though, like a lot of women I know are wary of weight training
yeah.
because the rumor goes that you turn into a dude if you train
uh,
with weight.
uh, do you want to
So
get me started on
oh,
this?
you know what? It makes me laugh because unknowingly, I think from a young age, I've always been impressed by weightlifters and the process of it. I just love it. I just love the vibe of it. And so I always did do weights as well as like classes, but like I was never into spin. Like I just never could get into spin classes at all. But
No.
I enjoy doing weights, and I started a personal training qualification the year before last,
Yeah.
and going through that, it was like, oh, in terms of like practical weight loss type stuff, it turns out like weight training is all the rage. If you want to maintain strength and be optimal with your time, do
Yeah.
weight training. And people are like, but you're going to turn into this and you're going to turn into that. And I
No.
think it's awesome. Like, had you always just been into weights from a younger age, or is that something you've come to?
So I've always been really active. When I was growing up, my dad always had me out running. So I've always run and done all kinds of sports from being really little, you know, sort of 7 years old, going out running with my dad and the dog and what have you. But I didn't really do weights. And I kind of like, now looking back, I feel like I thought it was something that wasn't for me.
Oh,
So I did a little bit with my dad because he always trained with really light weights when I was a kid. And then I didn't really do it until, you know, I sort of went to the gym a bit in my early 20s when people were just kind of doing that. But I never really got on with it because I kind of looked around and thought I was doing the wrong things and
oh.
what have you. So I just went on the treadmill because I knew what I was doing with that.
Right.
Yeah. So but I came after I had my kids, I sort of had a thing where I was like, well, I want to be back to being that fit person again. And I've just kind of, you know, my children are like, I've got 3 kids, they're all 2 years apart. So I wanted to find something again where I, you know, felt fit and strong and healthy. So I took the plunge one day and I joined a gym. And it's not a gym like a sort of mainstream gym.
Right.
It's a at the time it was a weightlifting gym, and you know There's lots of guys in there. It's like a chalk and iron kind of place.
Whoa.
And it was a bit of a step for me to do that, but what it's brought me is amazing, because I'm so much stronger. I've made so much progress. Yes, I've lost weight, but I realized along the way that wasn't really my goal. It was more like feeling strong again and feeling like myself, and doing something for me. And now I love it, and it allows me to progress and be successful, and looking after my body. And yeah, I think it's fab.
Oh, that's cool. So have you got, I'm curious now, so are your weights the typical kind of weights, or have you gone for weights that people have tried to like make all girly, like pink weights with like orange flowery bits and stuff, or are they like real metal dish type weights?
My idea of a good day is if I can go and deadlift. So there's no call. I mean, we use kettlebells and what have you, but there's nothing flowery about this stuff. We have fun. In normal times, we train in a group. So I train with a group of people. It's coached, which is important to me. So that I'm have the right technique, and I'm making good progress and focusing on the right things. And we get our hands covered in chalk and we grab the bar and we pick up the iron. And it's I love it. I get the biggest kick out of it, and I leave the place thinking I could accomplish anything.
That is an awesome feeling, though. I remember going to the gym a couple months, but in the couple of months we were allowed to be open again. And I think I was deadlifting actually, and I kept on like putting on the weights. And luckily for me, my powerhouse definitely like my quads and my hands and my legs. And I kept on putting it on. I remember there was a dude next to me who kept on sort of like, she's not going to. And to be honest, I hadn't warmed up properly, and I probably shouldn't have done it. I was so egged on by his face. And so I just went there and I sort of did it. And I did about 5 reps. It was really heavy. I put it down. I felt good for like a second, but my back just sort of went.
Oh no.
And so I had to like very like coy like saunter over to the side of the like I'm absolutely great. I'm super strong.
All good. And
I had to like roll it out without him watching real quickly. It was But I would like to ask before we wrap up, because I really appreciate your time with me, but I really want to be able to see this 12 weeks from now once we're done with the program and be like, yep, she said it. And if there was one thing, if you could only have a list of one single thing that you had to tick off at the end of like the program that we're both on, what would it be? If you had like one sentence where you had to put that on a sheet of paper, and at the end of it, if you tick that, it's like, that is something I've undoubtedly done, what would it be?
I think if I'm going to have just one thing, it has to be that I have a plan for the next 12 months, what I need to do to take my business to where it needs to be. And that's quite a big challenge, because that will include obviously quite a lot of things.
I know.
And when I want something that's like well thought out and concrete and realistic, and it's going to need input from a lot of people, but I want to have a plan. So I think, right, I've got this now, I'm going to go with it,
go forward with that.
Oh
that is, that's a deceptive one tick. Like that's got about 50 ticks within it.
I know.
That's a bit of a cheat. That's like a cheat answer.
It's the only one I can think of just right now.
Thank you so much. Honestly, thank you so much. I've loved having this. Like I've learned so much. I've learned so much about you, so much about business. And I'm like, oh, if I've got someone who's being a bit like poo-poo about themselves, I'm like, I'm gonna get Claire to give you a call. Backside. You can
rent me out, it's fine.
But thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to see you at our social probably soon.
Thanks a lot.